Hey everyone, and welcome. You know what always gets me excited? A glimpse into the future. Lucky for us, we've got a fantastic piece from REALTOR Magazine about the design trends shaping commercial real estate. And let me tell you, the future of workspaces.
Oh.
It's looking pretty awesome.
It's funny how these design trends, they're like a sneak peek into what's going on in the world, right?
Totally.
It's not just about aesthetics, it's reflecting the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Economics, what employees are looking for, even global events play a role. This deep dive we're doing into commercial real estate, perfect example of that.
Okay, so let's jump right into it. First up, wellness-focused workspaces. I mean, we've all heard the term, but this is like next level.
Yeah.
This isn't just about adding a plan or two, right? We're talking spaces designed with employee health and well-being as the priority.
It's about time.
Right.
And you know what? Companies are finally realizing happier, healthier employees, they're just more engaged, more productive.
100%. So the article, it highlights a company, Revolution Labs. They're so on board with this whole thing that they're going for, wait for it, WELL certification
It's a big deal.
in their new Massachusetts office, which, okay, WELL certification. I'm going to need more details on this because it sounds very official.
It is pretty official.
Hi.
Think of it like, the Michelin star, but for healthy buildings.
Ah, okay.
So Revolution Labs, they've met these super strict standards, everything from air quality to lighting,
Wow.
even having healthy food options and fitness facilities right there.
So they're not messing around.
Nope. Taking employee wellness seriously.
I'm inspired.
Yeah.
I'm looking around my home office thinking, not quite well certified over here. But okay, serious question. What's the real impact? Because is it just a fancy plaque, or do we actually see this reflected in, like, employee behavior, maybe even a company's bottom line?
That is the question, isn't it?
Okay.
And you know what? The research is really starting to show something pretty cool. Investing in employee well-being through design. Big results.
Like what?
We're talking less people calling out sick, people staying with the company longer.
Makes sense. Who wants to leave a company that actually cares about their well-being?
Exactly. And, yep, even that bottom line is looking better. Increased productivity.
Wow. It's amazing to me how design can actually influence that stuff. Okay, enough about making our workplaces feel like fancy hotels. Let's talk labs, because apparently turnkey labs are like the hottest thing right now, especially in those fast-paced fields like, life sciences.
Yeah, it makes sense though, right? Because in these cutting-edge research areas, time is everything.
Right. Every second counts.
Exactly. The article had a great example, actually, SOSV. They said, forget the traditional lab setup and went for a fully adaptable turnkey lab facility right in New York City.
So smart.
And you can see why. Imagine you have this groundbreaking discovery. You don't want to be stuck waiting for renovation.
Oh, no. You need to move like yesterday.
Right.
It's like the difference between, okay, I'm going to date myself here, but building a house, custom everything, versus just being like, I need an apartment, fully furnished, I'm moving in tomorrow.
Perfect analogy.
Yeah.
And that's what turnkey labs are all about. That plug-and-play functionality. Game changer for startups. Companies trying to scale quickly. But it's not just about speed either.
No, there's got to be more to it.
Oh, there is. Imagine this.
Yeah.
Scientists from all these different fields under one roof.
Cool.
But their workspaces can adapt as their needs change. That kind of flexibility. It's where amazing collaborations happen, breakthroughs.
Makes total sense. It's like that difference between, those old school offices with the cubicles versus like an open floor plan.
Yeah.
Ideas can actually flow.
Exactly.
Okay, we've talked about healthier workplaces, more adaptable labs, but there's another trend we have to talk about, right? And that's all those empty office buildings we keep hearing about.
Right. Remember, everyone is saying, turn them into apartments.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out it's not that simple. We got to be more creative. And actually, the article mentioned this design firm, SGA. They took this old office building, completely transformed it.
Into
A state-of-the-art cancer research lab. For this company, PMV Pharmaceuticals.
talk about a makeover from like blah office space to whoa, groundbreaking research. That's thinking big picture.
Yeah.
And it seems like this whole idea of repurposing, it's going way beyond just residential conversions, right?
100%. This example, it really shows what's possible. When we start thinking differently about these empty spaces, instead of just more apartments, why not dynamic, multi-use spaces that can actually breathe new life into our cities?
Okay, so what are we picturing here? Give me the details. What would these like hybrid spaces actually look like?
All right, so picture this. You walk into what used to be an office building, but instead of cubicles, bustling community hub.
I like where this is going.
We're talking a co-working space, entrepreneurs buzzing around, maybe some artist studios, local talent on display, heck, even an indoor vertical farm, fresh produce for the neighborhood.
Now that's what I'm talking about. It's like taking all the best parts of a city and putting it in one building.
Exactly.
So cool. And it seems like this whole thing, repurposing these vacant spaces, it could have a ripple effect on like the whole city.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
When you start mixing residential, commercial, even those cultural things, you create these neighborhoods where people actually want to be, walkable, lively, and more resilient.
And that sense of community, right?
Exactly. That's what people are craving.
Which is so important. It's like taking those best parts of a really great neighborhood, weaving it all together in a way that's both innovative and, good for the planet.
Right.
Which actually reminds me, the article also mentions some really ambitious projects that are bringing like eco-conscious design to the forefront.
Yeah, you can't talk about the future of workspaces without talking about sustainability.
Right, got to be responsible.
Exactly. And there was this one project really caught my eye. SGA, same firm we were talking about. They had this concept for 11th Avenue Biotech. Imagine this, a skyscraper dedicated to life sciences research, but built with sustainability as the core idea.
Wait, hold on. I'm trying to picture this. A skyscraper lab that's also good for the environment.
That's what they're going for.
Okay, tell me more, because I have questions.
So they're talking about all these amazing things. Rainwater harvesting, solar panels, energy-efficient systems built right in. It's like they're saying, hey, sustainability, urban development, they don't have to be at odds.
I love that. It's like they're completely changing what a skyscraper can be. On one hand, this hub for science and innovation. On the other hand, the symbol of environmental responsibility. Pretty ambitious.
Definitely ambitious.
Yeah.
But it reflects a bigger trend. Sustainable building practices are becoming the norm in commercial real estate. From the materials they use to how much energy they consume, even the impact on the surrounding environment.
Which, speaking of materials, wasn't there something in the article about, like, wood making a comeback in construction? Because I thought it was all about steel and concrete for those big buildings.
This is where things get interesting. We're seeing this resurgence in, get ready for it, mass timber construction.
Timber.
Yeah. And we're talking big projects, even for buildings like that skyscraper lab.
Hold on, wood. For a skyscraper.
They're probably cool, right?
Is that safe?
I know, it sounds crazy. But mass timber, it's incredibly strong, surprisingly fire resistant.
Okay.
And the best part, it's renewable. It can actually store carbon, which makes it way more sustainable than those traditional materials.
Mind officially blown. It's like we're rewriting the rules of how we build, taking inspiration from like nature and cutting edge technology all at the same time.
It's pretty amazing.
But it's not just about the materials, right?
Right.
The article also talked about how important it is to preserve history, make sure new developments respect the character of the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
People are realizing that new buildings, they should add to a place's identity, not erase it.
Right.
The article used this example. The Arsenal on the Charles. It was this old military site. They transformed it into a modern complex,
Right.
but they kept those historical elements intact.
Ooh, I like that. It's like they found that perfect blend of old and new, respecting the past, but with an eye on the future. It sounds like these like master planned communities are really gaining traction.
They are. We're seeing developers, designers, and even the local communities all working together. They want to create these developments that are beautiful, functional, and they fit in seamlessly. They get it. A building, it's not just a structure, it's part of a bigger story.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. Wellness, adaptable labs, getting creative with those empty offices, sustainable skyscrapers, the importance of preserving history. It's like all these trends are pointing to a future where design is about so much more than just how things look, right?
Absolutely. It's a more holistic approach to design, using it to solve problems, tackle the big challenges facing our cities, even our planet. It's a really exciting time to be thinking about the future of commercial real estate.
It's like we're moving beyond just like trends and getting into like a whole new design philosophy, right? One that's actually connected to, what we value, what we want the future to look like.
That's what makes it so interesting, right? We're not just talking about buildings anymore. We're talking about how we live,
Yeah.
how we work, how we create a good future, and how design can help us get there.
It's like designing for actual people and the planet, not just like the bottom line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Although that's where things can get, complicated.
Oh, how so?
Well, all these trends, they're great. They have so much potential, but we also have to be aware of the like the potential downsides.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that because I'm all for being optimistic, but we got to be real too. What are the challenges?
So take the whole wellness focus thing. Amazing idea, right? But how do we make sure it's not just like a perk for the lucky few? What about smaller companies who maybe can't afford all the fancy stuff, or industries where, honestly, employee well-being hasn't exactly been the top priority?
It's like, are we accidentally creating this system where some people get these incredible workspaces and others are like stuck in the past?
That's the danger, for
Yeah.
sure. And you see the same thing with repurposing those vacant offices, turning them into like high-end apartments or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can bring a neighborhood back to life, but it can also push people out if we're not careful.
Gentrification, yeah. It's a tough one.
It is. So we have to be smart about it, make sure these changes are actually helping everyone, not just a select few.
And I bet sustainability has its own set of challenges, right? Even when we're trying to do the right thing.
Oh, absolutely. Even with the best intentions, it can be tricky. Take that mass timber we were talking about. Amazing alternative to those traditional materials, right? But we have to make sure that wood is coming from sustainable forests. Can't be contributing to deforestation. And even then, you got to think about the transportation, the manufacturing, the whole picture.
Right, because there's always going to be a trade-off somewhere.
Exactly. There's
Yeah.
no magic solution. So we have to be aware of those trade-offs and make the most responsible choices we can.
So what's the answer? Because it sounds like it's not just about like one solution, one trend, one project.
It's bigger than that. We need everyone at the table. Architects, developers, people making policies, the communities themselves. We all have to work together if we want these trends to actually lead to a better future, a more equitable future for everyone.
It's like we're at this point where we have all these amazing tools, all these ideas,
Right.
but it's how we use them that really matters. It's up to us to decide what kind of world we want to build.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's a call to action for all of us. Be aware, be involved. Think about the spaces you want to see in the world because ultimately, we're the ones designing the future.
And on that note, I want to say a big thank you to you, our amazing listeners, for joining us on this wild ride through the world of commercial real estate. It's definitely changing fast, but hopefully this deep dive has given you some things to think about, maybe even got you a little excited about what the future holds.
Until next time, keep those questions coming, keep exploring, keep imagining, because the future is waiting for us to, well, design it.